All right, we're here. Can you hear me? See me? Hello? Yeah, refresh it. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? I don't think I'm dropping frames anymore. Is this better? I'm not dropping frames anymore, I don't think. We good? Okay, cool. I'm not dropping frames. I think everything is good. I think everything is better. I apologize for that. Hopefully we didn't lose everybody. We just got started, so hopefully we didn't lose everybody. Again, I do apologize. I just had my my VPN was still on. I forgot my VPN was still on. It was I was surprised it was able to stream that well at all. But now that I've killed the VPN, everything seems to be okay now. Everything seems to be okay. Dark Eldar with the 19 months. God, 19 months? Holy shit. Before long, we're going to coming up on 2 years I'm going to be doing this garbage. Mr. Cryonics, thank you for the follow. Cthulhu Fountain to you, my friend. What? What, pray tell, are we getting up to today? Killer 2... Yeah, that was a joke, Killer 2224, okay? It was a joke. Now we can get Al-Hazred's precise location. Okay, best of luck with that. Technique with 6 months of the 6 months re-indoctrination. Thank you so much for the prime, my friend. Cthulhu Fountain to you, my friend. Or, I'm sorry, 16 months. My goodness. It just said 6 months in a row. VPN 1L0. I just killed it. I mean, now I'm not dropping any frames, according to my streaming software. Mistis with the 2 months. 4 months YouTube watcher, 2 months subs. Can you upload Cobalt Strike videos to YouTube?
Can you upload Cobalt Strike videos to...
Well, most of the stuff I do on Cobalt Strike is most of the stuff I do on Cobalt Strike is on assessments. But I can upload like tinkering. I can show people how to use beacon object files and stuff like that. Jackie Olsen with the first time indoctrination into the cult. Welcome to the All Has Red Team, my friend. Little Dee Dee with the 11 months. Welcome. All right. We can keep, listen, okay, first, okay, before we go any further, I have a hard stop at 5 p.m. Eastern Time because Helen of Tor is going to be going live for her second ever stream doing she's found an interesting blue teaming platform to go through some simulated incident response scenarios that she wants to show off. So she's going to be starting that at 5 p.m. Eastern. And so I've told her that I'll be done by 5 p.m. Eastern in order to facilitate that. Okay, so we have to get our shit started just in case. Okay? We have to get our shit started. Who is she? She is my girlfriend who is a blue teamer. Raid her? Yeah, we will be raiding her. What time is it now in Eastern? It is 2 p.m. Eastern. So in 3 hours. We have 3 hours. I'm just going to... I'm going to get Hack the Box started today. Today we're doing, by request of people in the chat, we are doing Hack the Box's search. I have been told that Hack the Box's search is an Active Directory machine. I've been told it's very heavy on the Active Directory exploitation. So, since you guys are always hankering for more Active Directory, I am happy to oblige on this. How does that relationship work? It works like any others. It works like literally any other relationship. All right, I am logging in to Hack the Box, and then we're going to start up search, and we're going to get started. I just want to try, and I don't know how long the box is going to take us. It is possible that we won't get through the box today. That is possible. I don't know how difficult this box is. I've just been told it's Active Directory, and for that and that was all I needed to be told. Other than the fact that it's retired, because people keep recommending active fucking boxes. But it is actually retired, and it is an Active Directory box. I don't know how difficult it is. So we are going to just we're gonna try and get through as much as we can. If we can't get through the whole thing, it's not the end of the world. We'll just pick it up in the next stream. All right, it is a medium ranked box. Let's take a look at it. All right, so search medium ranked Windows box. We see IPSEC did do a video on it, which means it is retired. We got a bunch of write-ups. Again, retired. Man, InfoSec Jack got user in 25 minutes. And then XCT got it in 1 hour and 24 minutes. So, yeah, I have been told it is heavy on the Active Directory exploitation, so we're going to get started. How was your night engagement last week? It's not over yet. I have another week to go. Actually, over a week. The assessment ends on the week of the 17th. It's a 2-week assessment, so I'll be on the night schedule all week this week. To answer your question of how it's going, they've put a number of roadblocks in my way. I was not expecting to be challenged this much on an internal assessment. Honestly, some of their security measures are stronger than the organizations that I red team. This will be one of the first reports that I'll write on an internal assessment where one of my findings will not be bad password policy. Their password policy is very good, and it's good enough that I've had a very hard time cracking all these hashes that I've found. So no stream next week? No, we'll probably be streaming. I've adapted more to the night schedule as time went on. As time has gone on, I think I'll be able to swing the stream on Tuesday and Thursday next week without... Are you applying for a SOC position? No, I want to be I'm a red teamer, and I am happy in that situation. Over under, you'll probably finish this box in like 2 hours, such as John works for you towards the tail end. I had to use a Golang tool to crack a thing. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see what we get up to. Again, I as always, these boxes are done blind. I don't know anything about the box other than that it is an Active Directory machine. It's Windows, and I know that people were recommending it. So that's all I've got. What's easier, red or blue teaming? Neither. They're both are hard in their own different ways. They're just different things. Hack the box. Search. So I know you guys love that Active Directory stuff, so we're going to see what Active Directory stuff, what madness awaits us today. Okay? All right, let's fire up the terminal. Let's make this a little bigger. Let's make a new tab. Let's connect to the HacktheBox VPN. Okay. Search. There we go. We now have that. We'll give the box a little bit longer to start up because it's probably going to be a domain controller. And if it is a domain controller, we will it'll take a little bit longer to spin up. Can you make your screen a little zoomed in? Yes, I can zoom in a little bit more. Let's put it right there. I think that's okay. All right, my OSCP certification officially came in the mail. Makes my office looks pretty sexy. That's pretty great, my dude. I don't even put mine up in the office. Mine are just in this cabinet over to the right, off the stream to my right. I just keep them all in there. Do they still give you the little card thing, Mr. Robot? Do they still give you the little card to put in your wallet? As if like, it's okay, officer. I'm an OSCP. Like, I think they actually improved the cards. Like, my original OSCP card is very, like, cheap looking. But I've seen the more recent cards I've gotten, like, from OSWE are really nice. They're much nicer looking. We're going to give the box just a little bit longer to spin up, just in case. Does CRTO mail you a physical cert when you pass? No. I have my Net Plus, Sec Plus, and Pen Test Plus. I don't think I have cards for any of those. Let me get water really fast. I forgot water. All right. All right, let's do it. Let's get started. 10. The Eldritch Magics await. Rillia awaits. Let's ping. Let's get. And we have a time to live of 128, which does indicate a Windows machine. So. I am making progress on the real-life assessment. I can't give you guys any information about my client. After the assessment's over, maybe we'll step through my path of compromise, because this one I think will be an interesting one. This one, so far, my path of compromise has been quite interesting on this one. And I think it's going to be even more. They're not making anything easy on me. Like, a lot of these internal assessments, you just run responder. You catch a domain admin hash. You crack the domain admin hash and you're done. Like, that's all it is. This one, they're definitely making it sporting. They have a strong password policy. SMB signing is enabled across the entire domain. This is one of the only times I've seen SMB signing enabled so widely across the domain.
Hatching chick, front-facing baby.
I don't believe they have blue teamers. Consti, I think it's supposed to be. I don't think they have blue teamers. They, so far, the only thing that they've noticed has been Nessus. They have not noticed any of my other activities. I have beacons on a bunch of their servers, and they have not detected those. They have Symantec endpoint protection, but that has failed to stop me. What's stopping me more than anything is their password policy. The password policy is doing the most work to actually slow me down. I am making progress, but it is slow. So we'll see when I'm done with this assessment in hopefully a week. We'll step through it. We'll go through the path of compromise, and we'll talk about what I did. How have I forgotten how to scroll up all of a sudden? Okay, there we go. For some reason, I started just... you do something a million times and you actually think about it once, and then all of a sudden you can't do it anymore. All right, so we do see the classic ports open of a domain controller. 636, 445, 88, 389. These are all ports you'll typically only see on a domain controller. Let's get some notes. We're gonna need some notes for this. This is Active Directory. Hack the box. Machines. New note. Search. Okay, so we need to know I need to know the domain name. What is the domain name? Search.htb is the domain name. I guess I could have guessed that. I can do labs very well, but when I get to real-world bug hunting, I get frustrated and demotivated. Would you help me figure it out? Anyone in chat help me? No, that's totally reasonable. I think it's mostly you're mostly in your own head, Mr. Cryonics. You're mostly simply in your own head. You just need to try and ignore that and be persistent. I think one thing that gets you about the labs is that you know there's a way. You know there's a reasonable way to root or whatever. But you don't necessarily know that with bug hunting. You're just kind of trying stuff to see what works. And so it might be easier and it might be harder, or it might be relatively impossible depending on what bugs you're looking for. Okay, so I'm not seeing any web servers. Oh, there is a web server. How silly of me. A web server. Okay, so there's port 88 is Kerberos. That's the KDC. And we do have a web server on port 80. So let's take a look at what we're looking at with that. Let us take a look. Take a look at the web server. Looks like Burp is listening. Let's turn that off. Christy, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. How was your stream? How was your stream? We're just getting started. Research. Okay, so we're seeing Lorem Ipsum content and some LinkedIn bro fucking platitudes. That's good. Yep, Lorem Ipsum. Ah, so this is something you always want to take note of, especially for Active Directory machines. We get possible names of users here. So let's go ahead and copy these out. Let's put these into a file. Dax. I wish my name was Dax. Dax is a sick name. Is this entire company just stock actors? Or stock photos of people? Now to just find the naming convention? Yeah, that is the next hurdle. We have a couple of ways of getting past that. But first, let's take all of these down. And let's do all of our automated enumeration first before we... Let's start our automated enumeration in the background before we start manually enumerating. There's a number of ways you could go about finding the username convention. Let's check. One time I think there was another person that was commented out in the HTML in one of these. Maybe on raw or set. So I'm just going to double check this. I'm going to see if there's any comments in the HTML that I want to be concerned about. James Phelps. See, I don't have James Phelps in here, do I? No. Where is this guy? Ham Brook? We're seeing a whole bunch more people. Maybe I didn't scroll down far enough, or maybe there's another pane. Point is, the HTML can't lie to me. Ham Brook. God, these are great names. Holy shit. Kiara Spencer. Nice terminal fonts. Yeah, I like this one. I fiddled with a bunch of them before I found that one that I like. We want to try and get as many usernames as we can. Usernames are very valuable. Valid usernames are very valuable on Active Directory assessments. And I'll show you why once we actually start using them. Okay, Chris Stewart. This is what we were seeing before. Chris Stewart, Ben Thompson. I just want to make sure that we see that we get all of the names that we were supposed to get. Because I know that these boxes sometimes pull shenanigans on us and put shit in HTML comments and stuff like this. No. Okay, so this one looks like it's being straightforward. That's good. Let's scroll down and see what else there is to see. It looks like most of this is just standard website crap with lorem ipsum content. We see a Robert Spears. These are testimonials, though. I don't know if these are employees. It can't hurt. Let's just put those in. John Smith. Christine Aguilar. Oh. They have a trans person. Look at this. You go, Christine. You go, Christine. You do it, girl. You do it. Okay? Bruce Rogers. Trans representation. Always good to see in Hack the Box. Robert Spears. Bruce Rogers. Okay, just in case, we don't know. I'm just taking down all the names I can. On real-life assessments, such as on the one I'm currently on, I will do OSINT via hunter.io and LinkedIn to find as many usernames as I can. Usernames are very, very valuable. You want to know... We got James Phelps. Do we have him? We do have him. We want to make sure we get all of these names. Like, I have a bad feeling. Like, you have these names that were under the pictures, and you have these names on, like, their blog or whatever, like, that are in much smaller print. I have a feeling they're going to pull a fast one on us and sneak in the person that we need to find. Okay, I think we have them all. So let's just take that, and let's do Go Buster. 10, 10, 11, 129. Let's not do any of that. And okay, so we Go Buster. Let's go ahead and split the pane in half, and let's do an Nmap, a full Nmap scan as well. Okay, not Hambrook. These boxes that put shit, like, on web pages, they like to be sneaky and put, like, the name you actually need in, like, HTML comments and shit like that. I still feel like we're going to see something like that. Maybe I might want to check this images directory to see if it has directory listing enabled. Okay, so we're doing an all-port scan here. What glasses are those? These are Gunnars. Primal MK with the 7 months. And Christy, again, thank you for the raid. Thank you so much, Primal MK. Appreciate it. All right, so we did have... There was also 443 open, so let's see if HTTPS is any different. We got to accept the self-signed certificate. We are waiting to see... This looks identical. Okay, so nothing there. Let's do crack map exec. SMB. Let's just try and connect to it and see what we're dealing with here. Is there a /staff directory? Did I miss that? I didn't see that. Research. It looks like this is research.search.hackthebox. So this would be the fully qualified domain name of this machine.
3 months of new wrinkles. Let's go.
Yeah, Dizzle Rizzle. Thank you so much for 3 months. For the 3 months. Welcome back to the All Has Red team. So the fully qualified domain name, which is valuable for the domain controller, will be research.search.htb. SMB signing is enabled. That is common for domain controllers. That is the default setting. TAC U, TAC P. Let's see if we can do a null session. Took your advice on try hack me and started my journey that pushed really hard in the last 2 days. I'm already top 10%, but the knowledge is invaluable. Thank you again for the tips. Really recommend it to everyone. Yeah, try hack me is a great platform for beginners. I highly recommend it. So we can't do a null session. Let's try just the guest account. This is always something to try. You do see this relatively frequently. So there's no guest account either. So my guess is from what we've seen here is that we're supposed to guess usernames and do like an ASREP roast or something of that nature. Chad B. Noob with bringing us 2 new cult initiates, Andronitis and No Ply. Thank you so much, Chad, for your continued and concerted support of the stream. Mini Sue, thank you for the follow. Kay, the Cyber Guy, welcome to the stream. Okay. So there's a couple of ways that you can we need to figure out the username convention. Is it Keely.Lions? Is it K-Lions? Is it K.Lions? Typically companies will have a username convention, which is usually some manner of the employee's first and last name, separated by a dot or something like that. There's a couple of ways you can do this. One way that I like is using a tool called UserMash on GitHub, which will take a list of names. Is it UserMash? Is it UserMash? Maybe I'm remembering the tool wrong. Does lower or uppercase matter? Not for Windows, no. Windows is not case sensitive. So lower or uppercase will not matter. Name mash, that's what it is. You're right, that is what it is. It's been a little while. You'd think I could remember these stupid, all of these tools that I use. So this is just a simple Python script that's going to take a list of usernames and make a whole bunch of other usernames from it. Make a bunch of possible usernames from it. So we're going to wget this. Okay, wait. Just do that. Usage, and then it wants the names. Okay, so we'll do name mash users.list. And you can see what it's done here. It's taken the first name. It's concatenated the first name and last name. It put Lions Keely, Keely.Lions, Lions.Keely, Lions K, K Lions. You see what it's done. It's made a whole bunch of possible Another way you can figure this out is using hunter.io in real life. If the company is real, you can often figure out their username convention by looking for their emails on hunter.io. It won't work in this case because this company is not real and this is a CTF. But that is what I do use that in real life to determine username convention, which is why I can't remember name mash because it's rarely relevant. All right, so now what do? We go to Kerbrute. Kerbrute. Kerbrute is a very useful tool that I use on real assessments all the time. I'm using it on the current assessment that I'm on for my job. Kerbrute is very, very useful. We just want to do the user enum function. It's very fast and easy to use. User enum function, and then I think we just give it a username file. We have to give it the DC. Tac DC 10.10.11.129. Kerbrute is one of my most commonly used tools on red team assessments. Not as commonly as CrackMapExec, but it's pretty high up there. TACD search.HacktheBox. It needs to know the domain so that it can append the NetBIOS name to the usernames, because that's the way Active Directory likes them. Or prepend, not append. Home. Try hack me. Or not hack, it's hack the box. Hack the box. Search. Users.list. And we see if there are any valid usernames. Oh, no, we want... Oh, I forgot to... It looks like I did a dumb. Yeah. It did not actually... I forgot name mash doesn't actually save to a file, so I have to pipe those into possible names.txt. There we go. That's what we want. All right. Go back here. Oh, I did. Then I just fucking did the same thing over again. Possible names.txt. And here we go. So we do see that Keely.Lions, Dax Santiago, we see that these are valid usernames. Does that make sense? Like, we could have guessed that. Like, it was perfectly reasonable to take one of these usernames and just and mash it up and all that stuff and see which one fit. But name mash is another cool one that we use. Trying to master CrackMap exec. CrackMap exec has basically every function you could possibly need for internal testing and red team testing. It's very, very useful. I highly recommend really wrapping your head around CrackMap exec. That is really a wrinkly brain tool. CME feels like cheating. It really does sometimes. It's actually rare on an internal assessment that I need to actually get code execution. A lot of times, I can use CrackMap exec to do just about everything that I need to do. CrackMap exec can spray. It can dump credentials. It can execute code when I need it. It's rare that I actually need to get a beacon or an agent or an interpreter shell or anything like that. This was my question of how you figure out the logon names. There are many ways you could have done it. This is just the way that I chose. So at this point, we would like to take... Let's go back to 3 and let's vim users.list. Or let's copy users.list into usernames.list. Vim usernames.list. And let's just concatenate the two names like this. The capitalization should not matter. Okay, so that was the username convention, was it? Keely.Lions? Yeah. The capitalization shouldn't matter. Windows is not case sensitive. All right, so let's try spraying it again and see if we... Let's make sure that we got the usernames correctly. Yeah, we did. So now we can do an asrep roast. So get... Impacket... Get NP users. It's hack the box. Search usernames.list. DCIP. Let's do search.htb. There. 10, 10, 11, 129. Really? Huh. I'll be honest, fellas. I will be honest. I was expecting that to work. Or I was expecting to get a hash. That's a very common way of getting initial access on these assessments. We didn't miss any names, did we? Now I'm feeling like... I mean, just because the asrep roast didn't work, are we supposed to password spray? I wonder. Valid users dot txt. Let's just do it over here. Okay. This large font really makes this not as nice as I would like it. Come on. Like, what's going on? I'm hitting insert. What's happening? Can I fucking... Thank you. Jesus. Dax Santiago. Sierra Fry. Okay, so those are the valid usernames. Azrep Roasting didn't work. Did we... Don't tell him he has to struggle. Did I missed something. Did we enumerate the webpage? Yes. Did I miss something on the webpage? There's a hint on the main... Fuck. See, that okay, what did I miss here? What did I miss? Hang on. We'll figure it out. Did I not say this? Like, they like to pull bullshit on the main page. Like, when you're supposed to enumerate a web page and figure it out. Oh, yeah, we never did look at those images. Oh, yeah. There was that other page as well. There was the... let's look at images. Also staff. We get 403. What about staff? X 403. Do we get a 200 okay for any of those? No. All right, so someone said there was a something on the main page. Look at the pics. What? These are all stock photos. All right, hang on. Oh, here's a computer image. Work hard. Okay, this is just some LinkedIn bro bullshit. Is it the trans guy? Am I supposed to... Okay. I'm sorry, trans woman. Trans woman. Is it in the blog posts, I wonder? Okay, those don't actually go anywhere. That says password. You're fucking shitting me. I see the word password on here. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Why are you the way that you are? Why are you the way that you are?
Okay, so...
What are you doing, step bro?
It is fairly... Okay, in my defense... This is some fucking CTF bullshit. Not once on a company's website... Like, on their main page, have I found a picture containing a password. Like, this is some bullshit. This is some fucking bullshit. And my eyes just... I didn't even register this text on this image. Honestly, this would have probably taken me... I would have been here a while. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I would have been stuck here a while. trying to like do password spraying. I was gonna go into password spraying from here and try to spray passwords. But I wouldn't have seen this. This is okay. Well, I'm glad you guys were here to help me out because this is a little bit cringe. That's a little bit cringe. Okay, so send password to Hope Sharp. Isolation is key, question mark. Okay, a little bit dumb. My expectations have indeed been subverted. Isolation is key, question mark. Is there anything else? Hunter and Jordan. Great. Okay, well, we'll leave that image up in case it becomes relevant again. Well, I'm glad that chat was here to hint that for me, because I would have been stuck there for a while. Again, I do these boxes blind. I don't know what we're going to find. All I know is that I was told this has Active Directory. That's it. So we can try Kerbrute. Let's do Vim. Let's do this Vim command again, and let's add Hope Sharp to it. Now what could be the case. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys a little story. A little story of an assessment that I was on recently. Recent assessment. I compromised the Outlook web access. I compromised the email portal of an employee. And it was a help desk technician, which is we like help desk technicians. We love compromising help desk technicians.
Nice.
And in this case, I did as every enterprising pen tester would do, and searched for the word password in his emails, and got a whole bunch of emails that were referring to a default temp password. And I'm like, oh God, please let there be a default temp password somewhere in this guy's emails. And sure enough, there was an email that listed a default temp password. I won't say it because it'll give away what company I'm testing for. And I sprayed that throughout the entire, across all users in the network and compromised 40 accounts instantly. So that's the kind of shit you need to be aware of. In this case, this might be kind of a default password. The unrealistic part is not the fact that there is this password that is available to be found, that will work, that users are passing around and so on. Can you say how many? No, it's a very large company. Look Magic. I don't know how many employees they have. I know how many user accounts they have, but I don't know if that translates to. They're a conglomerate. They're a corporate American conglomerate. I can't say who they are. Okay, I can't give away client information. They are a large company. They are a conglomerate of many smaller companies. So, in this case, this was not terribly uncommon. I was not super surprised by what I found there. What I was surprised by was how many accounts that the default temp password worked on. That's what I was surprised by. It should not have worked on that many accounts. Okay, so we're going to add hope.sharp to this because she was in the silly image thing. And now let's do Kerbrute for usernum. Let's do Kerbrute password spray, actually. I think I just want a word list and then a password. Yep. Tac DC. 10, 11, 129. Tac D is search.htb. And then it is the word list. HacktheBox search valid users.text. And then the password, which is isolation is key. So this is case sensitive, obviously. It's a capital I. Is key. Let's put that in quotes. Spray that. And that still didn't work. Is it parsing the password incorrectly? They gave me a password. Did I copy the password out of the image incorrectly? Isolation is key. I think it's right. What is isolation is key? It's a password. Send password to Hope Sharp. Okay, let's try crack map exec on Hope Sharp just in case. I'm not sure why Kerbrute is failing there. Hope.sharp, but it seems like Hope Sharp is the one that's supposed to work. Hope Sharp, isolation is key. See if crack map exec does it. There we go. So, Kerbrute... Oh, I know why it didn't work. Does anybody know why Kerbrute didn't work? Does anybody know why Kerbrute didn't work? Mr. Robot's very good. I highly recommend Mr. Robot. It's quite realistic compared to most hacking shows. So, Kerberos, as a protocol, is very sensitive to time. It's very, very... you need to be synced up with the your time needs to be synced up with the domain controller in order to actually interact with it with Kerberos. In this case, I don't think we are synced up. Sudo apt tech y install ntp date. Let's hope I can remember how to do this.
Let me tell something.
Do you use CME and Kerbrute for the same stuff? Kind of high level the same stuff. Kerbrute I use more for enumerating usernames and for password spraying across the entire domain. Unless I'm looking for local accounts. If I'm spraying local accounts, I'll use crackmap exec, but it's louder. Kerbrute is much quieter. Okay, so it's NTP date, tac H. NTP date just in the host. So sudo NTP date, and then the host is 10.10.11.129. Okay, so now let's try Kerbrute. And there we go. So now we get a valid login. So again, Kerberos, very, very sensitive about date and time. Impacket would have actually thrown an error that our date time was off. Impacket scripts will actually check to see if your date time is synced up with the KDC. I think it's allowed to be 5 minutes off maximum. But if you run into problems interacting with Kerberos with this machine, I would encourage you to keep in mind again that Kerberos is indeed quite time sensitive. So you will need to sync up your time with the domain controller. What is your recommendation for beginning C#? Most of my C# was just kind of learned practically, as in I just kind of sat down and learned it. I'm sure there's lots of programming sites that will teach you C# these days. I'm sure exorcism.org is good. I would encourage you to not just read a book of C# and think you know it. Sit down and actually code. Open up Google and start Googling around and compiling and writing programs. That's my best recommendation. Let me get caught up here. Chad B. New bringing K the Cyber Guy into the fold. Welcome, K the Cyber Guy. Thanks, Chad. ZQ with the 13-month re-indoctrination into the cult. Welcome back to the All Has Red team. Psycro, Tarthal, Agopo, War Combat, Yorchi, Count Zero, and a baked cheese snack. Thank you for the follow. Cthulhu Fountain to you, my friends. Okay, so we do have valid credentials. So the next thing we're going to want to do is shares. C# is a great language to learn, but when learning any programming language, my recommendation is definitely to actually sit down and code in it. Rather than just like trying to like read a book or anything like that. Books, it is useful to have I have a book of C# here, but I did not read it to learn C#. It actually has barely been opened. Is it common in real world that the expiry of tickets is not the default of 10 hours? No. It's usually the default. It's generally the default. Companies wouldn't set a lower lifetime because it increases network congestion. More requests to the domain controller. The reason those expiry times exist is so that so that people don't have to authenticate to the domain controller every single time. Keep in mind that on any network of any kind of size, on any network of any reasonable size, users are authenticating 100 times a minute, like constantly. Users are constantly authenticating to stuff all the time. So the domain controller quickly will become overloaded by authentication requests. So in this case, the reason Kerberos is effective in that regard is that you only interact with the domain controller to get tickets. You get a ticket granting ticket, and then you get a service ticket. And then once you have that service ticket, it's valid for 10 hours, and you can interact with the service you want to interact with until it needs to be renewed. So you only have to interact with the domain controller at the beginning of that whole situation. So, yeah. So it would be unusual for me to see them change that default expiry time. Most organizations leave it the same. So we'd see quite a few certificates. Active Directory certificate services share. That's interesting. IPC dollar. So we can do an RID brute force really quickly. Oh, yes, I know. Hi, honey. Yes, you're a kitty. Come on. Yes. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. We're RID brute forcing. Yes, look. We're going to get all the usernames. That's like someone changing the TTL. Yeah, they usually won't change stuff unless there's an actual reason to. Have you burned yourself out from studying and making machines? I've never made a machine. And yeah, I have burned out before. We all experience burnout in this field. What a good lady. What a good lady. No, you asked for this. You came within arm's reach. Okay, go ahead, honey. All right, what do we have? So we got a lot of usernames. A lot of usernames here. So you can do this RID brute force thing when you have read access to the IPC dollar share. What's another way we could have gotten all the users, chat? Well, there's many other ways. There's many other ways we could have gotten all the users. Enum for Linux may have done it. I believe Enum for Linux would have worked. No, the Sigma grind set thing was just for laughs on that one stream. Let's do that. Okay. RPC client would have worked if we had the enum DOM users. I was thinking BloodHound. I'm thinking I'm at that time where I really kind of just want to run BloodHound. God, we have a lot of crap. They put a lot of crap in this machine, didn't they? All right, let's just copy this. Let's paste it in to our notes. They made it look like a real domain. I'll give you that. They made it look more or less like a real domain. Is BloodHound loud? I mean, it is, yes. But keep in mind that everything on a red team assessment and on a penetration test, first of all, you're definitely going to run it on a penetration test. You're running BloodHound on a penetration test. It's going to happen. Make your peace with it. Jesus Christ. Okay, maybe we won't bother with that. There's just so many. Normally, I would just output to a file. But in this case, I just wanted to we'll show off the RID brute force, and I'll get the usernames through BloodHound eventually. We have quite a few shares to look at. BloodHound is not nearly as loud if you use TAC DC only. If you'd use the DC only collection method, that means that BloodHound will only communicate with the domain controller. It's only going to, and that'll give you most of the enumeration. Most of the enumeration is LDAP queries against the domain controller. That's usually what BloodHound is. If you do collection method all, BloodHound is actually going to reach out to all the machines on the network and try to pull session information and things like that from them. That is very loud. That is quite loud. But DC only, I found it's unusual for a company to detect that. Actually, none of my recent assessments have indicated that they detected our BloodHound. Our BloodHound is surprisingly quiet if you use DC only. Didn't someone say BloodHound starts scanning other machines not in scope? Yes. BloodHound will do that. It will automatically try to reach out to all machines in the domain and try to get session information. So that's another reason you would use TAC DC only if you were concerned about scope. We see cert enroll. So this redirected folders is read write. So let's check that one first. SMB client 10, 10, 11, 129. Attack U, Hope, Sharp. Isolation is key.
A hunter must hunt.
Okay, so we have a list of usernames here. This looks like it's the user. This looks like it's the user home directories. So let's check out Hope Sharp. Nothing there. Let's check her documents. Lou Dogs, thank you so much for the 5 new cult initiates. Welcome, Cussa, Beer Force, Foe Hammer, Hesham, HBK, Particula did you, and Zalius Dark, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much, Lou Dogs. It's so kind of you. What plugins do you use for Tmux? This is Oh My Tmux. And I've installed some custom fonts. That's about it. I don't think I've changed anything else. I don't think I've changed anything else. So she's not. Did we look at her documents? We didn't actually hit dir. So nothing in Hope Sharp's documents. I put prompt off. God damn it. Am I doing this wrong, chat? I put prompt off. Let's see if that works. Just run BloodHound? We will run BloodHound. I just want to see... I want to go quickly and see if we can... get any documents from this. This is Hope Sharp stuff. Is there any other directory that we have control of, that we can see? We do have Sierra Fry, but we just got... Yeah, so nothing. So nothing there. Let's look at the shares again. I want to try and exhaust the shares before I go look at BloodHound. We will run BloodHound, don't worry. I'm also interested if you're active on YouTube. I am active on YouTube, yes. Oh my god, I completely forgot about Stream Raiders. Yeah, let me start up Stream Raiders. Sorry, I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it. Oh, I gotta update it. Okay. This help desk one is interesting. Let's check out Certain Roll. Certain Roll is also interesting. Log on failure. Did I copy the password incorrectly? I didn't copy it at all. I tried to type it out. There it is. Dir. So we have some certificates here. Research, search, CACRT. So this is the certificate authority certificate for... You saw that this page uses SSL. This page uses SSL right here. It says it says it's not secure, but it's just because of the self-signed certificate. Here we see. Here's the certificate public key and stuff like that. This is the private key. It looks like we probably want those, so we'll just prompt off mget star. Okay, so we'll pull those down. I'm not really sure what to do with those yet. What it does mean is that we can impersonate this. We can impersonate this website. I remember, was it on Raw or Set? There was a Try Hack Me Hack the Box machine that involved getting the certificate authority and using it with Responder to intercept requests for that web page. And like that, yeah. So now with this, well. We can't decrypt any traffic, Killer 2224. That's not how it works. What we can do is impersonate. We can impersonate this certificate. So if we were to set up a web page with this certificate, other people would not be able to tell that. We'd think it was made by the same people as who made this website. So we could clone this web page and it would look functionally identical to theirs. All right, so let's do that BloodHound thing that we talked about. Sudo docker run. Oh, it remembers. That's helpful. So I like to run BloodHound in a Docker container. When was it last updated? 13 months ago. We're good. I have trust issues with BloodHound. BloodHound is constantly being updated. So I like to run... I've been burned before by BloodHound missing stuff because it wasn't up to date. And in this case... and so now I just run it in a Docker container every time. I even run it in a Docker container on my actual assessments. So now we're going to do BloodHound Python. Okay, so we're going to run BloodHound. So you see this up here, this collection method. This is the most important option. We're going to do collection method all because this is just a CTF. On assessments, I would often do... On a red team assessment, I would often do this. DC only. Because, again... And if I was concerned about making connections to machines that were out of scope, I would use that. In this case, we're going to use collection method all. One particular gotcha is this one right here. When it asks for the DC, it does not want an IP address. It doesn't want an IP address. It wants a fully qualified domain name here. BloodHound will error out if you give it anything else other than that. So see all tacd search.htb tacdc. Again, it wants fully qualified domain name, so it's research.search.htb. The name server is the IP. Ten 11 129. TAC U for username. Hope sharp. TAC P. Isolation is key. And I think that's it. There it goes. A baked cheese snack with the first time Prime indoctrination into the cult. Welcome, a baked cheese snack. Good to have you. Thank you so much. So you can see that we're doing collection method all. And so BloodHound is trying to reach out to all these computer names it sees. But unfortunately, those computer names don't actually exist because this is just a HacktheBox machine. So it's getting a whole bunch of errors where it could not resolve that username. Or it could not resolve the IP address of that computer name. This always happens when you do collection method all, even in real life. There will be some machines that are offline or only connect via VPN, and so they're not always connected to the domain controller and stuff like that. So you will get errors like this if you run connection method all. You will not see that with DC only. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, we're done. We are done. Exit. All right, so I need to start... I've let my organization get kind of out of hand here, haven't I? Let's just fix this really quick. Oh, fuck it. There we go. That's better. Let's move initial enum star.json for the... Okay, I just want the BloodHound data. Okay, so now we'll start up BloodHound. Sudo neo4j console. You got a user credential or a domain admin cred? This is just a domain user. And we ran BloodHound to enumerate the domain. So with it, we can search info about the domain. Yeah, so BloodHound gives us a lot of information about the domain. You'll see that here in just a second. It does a whole bunch of queries to the domain controller. A whole bunch of queries to the domain controller looking for information about the domain. So this is from Blackfield, another box we did. I need to clear the database first. Let's clear that database. Okay. Now we'll upload data. HacktheBox, search, BloodHound, computers. Unfortunately, you do need to do this one at a time. Domains. Groups. Oh, it's in HacktheBox. And users. Okay. All right, so now we can look for hope.sharp. That's the first thing we want to do. And we can mark user as owned. Okay. And we can make another small configuration change here. We're going to make this always display. Always display. Just make it a little easier to read the output. Okay, so now we can take a look at what permissions Hope Sharp has. First degree group memberships, she's just a member of the domain users group. Unrolled group memberships, these are pretty normal. Yep. Any other interesting information? Nope. We can also check to see what, we didn't actually try a Kerberoast yet. We should have tried that. List all Kerberoastable accounts. We do see a web SVC. So let's go ahead and grab that and see if we can crack it. Impact it. Get user spins. Ten, 10, 11, 129. Attack request to actually request the tickets. Search.htb. Hope.sharp. Isolation is key. There we go. So first, what this script does, what this impact script does, is it collects the... It enumerates all service accounts on the domain, as in all accounts with a service principal name set. That's these. And then it requests a service ticket for each one of those. It is a function of Kerberos that you can request service tickets for the service account at any time. The reason this is because service accounts need to log in without user interaction a lot of times per day on their own. So this reduces congestion on the network. It also keeps their credentials from flying around on the network a lot and that kind of thing. It keeps people from having to store... Windows really hates sending credentials over the network. So it avoids it wherever possible. This service ticket is encrypted with the password of this... service account, the web SVC service. So we can crack this to reveal the password. That's why it's valuable to us. Okay, John. Web SVC.hash. See if that cracks really quick. Fairly strong password, but it does work. Thank you, Andronitis. Very kind of you. So we now have the password for the web SVC service. This is extremely common. Almost every network that I land on has service tick. Like, first of all, this is being able to extract these hashes is completely the function of the domain. You're going to be able to do it every time a domain has service accounts, which all of them will. So the vulnerability comes in. The vulnerability of this account the vulnerability comes in when this password is able to be cracked. Does that make sense? These passwords need to be long and complex to prevent people from cracking these service tickets. Right now, at this very moment, on the assessment that I'm currently on, I have 2 domain admin hashes. One of them is from Kerberoasting. I Kerberoasted, and one of the accounts that I Kerberoasted was a domain admin. Which is also pretty common to see. Some services need domain admin privileges for one reason or another. But it has not yet cracked. I've been trying to crack it for 2 or 3 days now. And it has not yet cracked. And honestly, the password was last set in December, so it's probably very long and complex. I don't have high hopes for that one. I found another domain admin hash as a cached credential on a host that I compromised, but it also has not cracked. I have not had luck cracking those hashes yet. It's not to say that I won't. What rule set do you use with Hashcat? I use a lot. The most effective ones I find are one rule to rule them all and the dive rule in the Hashcat list of rules. Those are the most effective rules in my opinion. I'm not super good at hash cracking though. 1 million, baby. Okay, so we do have this web SVC service now. We can mark this user as owned. We can take a look at what permissions this guy has. We see he's also a member of domain users. And has basically no permissions. Is it delegation or anything? Nope. Temp account created by help desk. Well, we can see what shares this user can access. Crack map exec. SMB. I keep forgetting. 10, 10, 11, 129. Attack U. Web SVC. Password is... What? She's just in the other... Like, Star is just in the other room just yelling. She's just yelling. I don't know what she's doing. Yes, I know, honey. Can I help you with something? Come on. No? Okay. That's an NTLM v2 hash, which can't be passed around, right? No, that was a service ticket. That was the hash of a service ticket. We don't... With NTLM v2 hashes, you would typically see in Responder or NTLM Relay X. But yeah, you cannot pass those. You cannot pass those hashes. Okay, so I don't think we have any more... There was this one we didn't have a whole lot of access to, so let's try that. What are you doing? She is sprinting around at high speed. I don't know what her deal is. She's very hyperactive right now. Paste that in. Okay. I forgot. Mukter. This is often what my testing folder ends up looking like when I have tested for a certain amount of time. It gets messy. Prompt off. Recurse on. Run. Or let's do mget star. See if we can get any more files. Pretty much the same as before. We got those Sierra Fry things before. Yeah, you can't pass NTLM v2 hashes, and you cannot pass... I wonder why this share is here. I thought maybe it would give me more access. You know what we can do? We can try and... Let's just out of curiosity, because I would do this on a real assessment. Let's take these. I would do this on a real assessment, for sure. I did it on this assessment. Vim share users.text. Use that in. And we're going to do %s. Oh. I'm an idiot. Okay, we're just going to do some Vim stuff to remove this. There we go. So we're going to get these usernames, and I'm going to spray. So we're going to crack map exec, SMB,
A hunter must hunt.
share users.text, tag p. Let's try the isolation is key password first. You do need to use this. This is real. This is very realistic. That's why I'm doing it here, because especially if you have a password that you suspect is like a common temp password, you want to spray it against the whole domain if you can, to see if you can compromise any accounts. Rancid with the 6 months. Welcome back to the All Has Red Team, my friend. Thanks for supporting the stream. Alex Hornaldo, thank you for the follow as well. Only Hope Sharp. Let's try the 1 million baby one. You could also do this with Curb Okay. It's possible that this is completely off base, but there's so many of these user accounts, and I'm wondering how we're supposed to compromise them. My God, my dude. I am a fucking galaxy brain. That is big fucking brain. You might think, so someone new to Active Directory might point to this and say it was dumb, or it was How are they supposed to know to do that? And things like that. This is very common. This is very common in real life. Okay? In real life, people can't remember passwords easily. Maybe this Edgar Jacobs guy is a web developer, so he needs access to the web SVC account, and he just used the same password because he doesn't want to forget it. This is so common, and there are so many people in these corporations, and they're reusing passwords. Many of them, I would say almost all of them, probably reuse passwords because it's hard to remember. Not everyone is doing password managers. So this might seem fairly esoteric to someone who hasn't been on real internal penetration tests or red team assessments, but I assure you, this is very realistic. It is very realistic to find a password on the network and have it, and it turns out it works for other things. Recently saw local admin reused for DA. Yeah, one time I was testing on one assessment. It was last year. It was almost exactly a year ago. I was testing a small local government, or not small, but it was a county government in the United States. I won't say what state or county it was, but I was testing a county government, and it was a forest with like 5 or 6 domains. There was one for the sheriff's office. There was one for the court system, like the whole government. We're talking the forest of the entire county government. The domain at the enterprise admins were not using their enterprise admin counts as daily drivers. They had normal low privilege domain user accounts that they used as their daily drivers. And then they had, when they needed to use enterprise admin, when they needed to do enterprise admin things, enterprise admins are like domain admins, but they're domain admins for the enterprise, for like the entire, they're even higher than domain admins. Enterprise admins are admins of the entire forest, the entire Active Directory forest of all domains. So the enterprise admins correctly had separate enterprise admin accounts, and they were not using them as their daily driver accounts, if that makes sense. But I was able to compromise the hash of one of the low privilege accounts of the domain users, and then I just tried it again on their domain admin account, enterprise admin account, and it worked. So that person was reusing the same password for their enterprise admin account as for their low privilege daily driver user account. Users do this. This is just how users operate. Password reuse is a scourge. So this is incredibly realistic. This part of the box is very, very realistic. Seeing passwords reused, very, very, very common. So we have Edgar Jacobs now as well. And we can go into BloodHound and mark him as owned. Honestly, the only reason I even thought to try that is because there's so many other users. And I feel like there's got to be something in one of those home directories. Oh, this guy's in 2 groups. London Help Desk. Ooh, we have a Help Desk user. We like those. Unrolled group membership. Yeah, we're in the Help Desk groups. We do not have local admin. Okay. Okay. We'll do it at clients with clients too. You absolutely should. If you find a valid password, you should be attempting that valid password as in any place you can find. When I first on this assessment I'm currently on right now, when I found my first set of credentials, when I got my first set of credentials there, one of the first things I did is I went through my Aquatone results. If you don't know what Aquatone is a it's like Eyewitness or Go Witness. It's a tool that scans a bunch of web servers on a bunch of IPs and takes screenshots of all of them, so you can because usually when you're dealing with a network of like 2,000 hosts, there's probably dozens of web servers to look at. Dozens. Maybe hundreds on some domains. Or definitely hundreds on some domains. You're going to deal with a lot of web logins and a lot of internal web pages and stuff like that. And it's really laborious to try and browse to each one of those individually to see what's at them. So that's what Aquatone, GoWitness, and Eyewitness are for. I prefer Aquatone for a variety of reasons. Aquatone will, you give it a list of IPs and it'll scan common web ports on those IPs like 80.443, 80.80, 8.443, etc., etc. What do they do with that many? Well, keep in mind, a lot of them are web UIs. Like I saw the Symantec Endpoint Protection web console. One of the reasons I figured out that they had Symantec Endpoint Protection in use is I found the Symantec web console in Aquatone. They've got like all of their cameras, for example, if they have cameras set up in their buildings, those have web UIs. A lot of them just have web UIs. They're not just like, they're not setting up all these web pages. These are tools that they're running in their network, and they almost all have web UIs these days. That's just how it works. So Aquatone is a way to quickly take a screenshot of many different web servers. So that, and when I got my first set of credentials, one of the first things I did after checking to see, after running BloodHound and Kerber roasting and all those normal things that I do when I get my first set of credentials, I go through Aquatone and I try to log into all of the login prompts I see with the credentials that I have. Does that make sense? Whenever I get new credentials, I browse around on the network looking for places I can use them. So that's what you need to think about. When you're on an Active Directory environment, your mind should slip off like Searchsploit and Metasploit and should slip off like exploits in that respect, and slip onto how do I compromise credentials? What services can I access with those credentials? And how can I abuse my permissions to get more permissions? Does that make sense? That's what Active Directory exploitation is like. When you get new credentials, your mind needs to go, where can I potentially use these credentials, and how can I abuse them to elevate my permissions and get more credentials? Hopefully that makes sense. It's not the same mentality as like your standard OSCP, try hack me, or HacktheBox machine, which is find like a local file inclusion into log poisoning or something like that. You're usually not looking at stuff like that. Well, I mean, it's not that you don't see that stuff. You definitely do. And it's just the fact that, keep in mind, we're talking thousands of hosts, hundreds of web servers, and you typically have like a week. If you're lucky, you have a week on network. You just don't have time. You don't have time to really test every single one of those web pages looking for remote code execution. So you go for low-hanging fruit. You responder, crackmap exec, SMB client, impacket. That's where you go with the internal assessments. Does that make sense? Active Directory is all getting valid credentials and abusing misconfigurations to elevate your permissions on the network. That's what it's about. You usually have 1 week. That's pretty normal, yeah. Usually clients will pay for 40 hours, a nice round 40 hours, which is 1 week of my time. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, we were going to access let's access that redirected folders share as Edgar Jacobs. If you want to be a good active internal red teamer or or you want to do internal penetration tests, this is the kind of thing you need to be prepared to do. It is all okay. How can I get credentials, and then how can I abuse them to get more credentials? How do you get the initial set of credentials? It depends. The first thing I'm going to try every single time. What's the first thing I'm going to try every single time, chat? That's an excellent question, Year Zero. Does anybody else know in chat what the first thing I'm going to do on any internal assessment? Responder. It's responder every time. Responder NTLM relay, and man in the middle 6. Every single time. Every single time, that's where I'm going first. Okay? The first thing I'm going to do is fire up responder. You cannot Kerberos. You need credentials to Kerberos. You need credentials to Kerberos. The GPP could... That's a bit of an older configuration. If I was on an older domain, I might consider that, but on modern domains, that won't be the case. Can you explain the difference? Yeah, okay, so they're different tools. Responder and NTLM Relay X are different tools, okay? Responder is a tool that's designed to listen on the network for authentication requests, or listen on the network for... Windows has its own internal DNS system. It uses DNS, especially more modern Windows operating systems use standard DNS. But older Windows systems, and in the absence of DNS, will have a system called LLMNR traffic or NBTNS traffic. So this traffic is kind of like, so let's say on my internal network, like think Al's internal network, okay? Think Al's internal network. I've got my work laptop here. I've got my work laptop over there. I've got my iPad. I've got my phones, and I've got my PC that you guys are viewing me through right now. That's my my PC that I use for most things. I have a shared folder on my PC that I use. I have a shared folder on my PC that I access from all my other devices in case I need to access files from my home PC, from my PC. Does that make sense? When I access that shared folder, I just type in the host name of this machine, and Windows, all of my machines automatically know. I don't have a DNS server here, but they automatically know how to resolve my IP address from the host name of my PC, which is Azathoth, by the way. That's the host name of my PC. How does Windows know? The answer is LLMNR NBTNS traffic. My Windows machines on my network right now are constantly broadcasting their host names to all the other machines. What my home PC is saying, hey, my host name is Azathoth and I'm located at 10.0.0.1 or whatever, or 10.0.0.10 or whatever, right? That way, all my other machines know that whenever they have to access Azathoth, they know what IP address to go to, okay? Back to Responder. Responder co-ops that system and basically tries to pretend it's every single host name on the network. So if I had Responder running on my local network, Azathoth would be, my home PC would be talking, would say, hey, I'm Azathoth on 10.0.0.10. And then Responder would speak up and say, much louder, actually, I'm Azathoth, and I'm at 10.0.0.20. And it would just constantly spam that to overwhelm overwhelm the broadcasts from the other network. Yeah, it's kind of like ARP poisoning. And it'll do that for every host name. So in so doing, Responder essentially places itself at the center of the network. Other machines will assume that that Responder is the machine they're trying to reach, and will try to authenticate to it. And Responder can respond to those authentication requests and dump hashes that can be cracked or relayed to other targets in order to gain code execution. That's what Responder is. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on Responder to see if LLMNR and BTNS traffic is enabled. If it is, and I'm seeing hashes, good. We're going to start trying to crack the hashes. If the hashes don't crack quickly, I'll start thinking about using NTLM Relay. There's also Man in the Middle 6. Man in the Middle 6 is very, very similar. Doesn't use LLMNR and BTNS traffic. What do you think Man in the Middle 6 uses based on the name? Based on the name, what do you think Man in the Middle 6 uses? Can Max communicate with it as well? They can respond to LLMNR. They don't broadcast, but they can respond to the requests. Yeah, it responds to IPv6. Many people don't know this. But because they're not using IPv6, most internal networks are not using IPv6 at all. However, Windows has IPv6 enabled by default, and not only is it enabled, it is preferred. Windows prefers IPv6 over IPv4. Windows prefers IPv6 over IPv4. So man-in-the-middle 6 basically does the same thing as Responder does, but does it with IPv6. It's basically going to constantly try to claim that all of the IPv4 addresses on the network redirect to this IPv6 network. I have a lot of success with man-in-the-middle 6 as far as using it with NTLM Relay. NTLM Relay is a separate tool. NTLM Relay will accept an NTLM authentication request and try to relay it to a given target to gain code execution or to do a variety of different actions. So Responder is like, if we're going in American football terms, I know we have EU folks in chat, but just try and bear with me. Let's just do this. So when you're starting a play in football, you've got the guy who's, I'm not going to say the name because I don't lose any of the EU people. You got the guy who's holding the football, and the quarterback is right behind him like this, ready to take the football. Okay? And then the quarterback's going to take the football and throw it. Okay? Responder is the guy doing the snap, okay? I'm Responder right now, where I'm going to pass the football to the quarterback. The quarterback is NTLM Relay. The NTLM Relay is going to take the authentication requests, and then it's going to try to throw downfield, pass them, relay them to another target down the field. Does that make sense? I know we did the rarest of all things, a sports ball analogy. Yes. Does that make sense? So I'll try Responder and cracking hashes first. On a real network. And if the hashes either don't crack or don't crack fast enough and I get impatient, I'll try to relay. Alrighty. So, that was quite a long segue. Oh, fucking Stream Raiders. This is good stuff to talk about because, like, we could do these Active Directory boxes, but I hear a lot of people complaining about, specifically, people have complained to me about the OSCP exam, the Active Directory portion of the OSCP exam, and apparently there's a set of credentials that you find elsewhere on the network that you're supposed to use with a different machine or whatever. And there's no, and people think that there's no reasonable way they could have figured out to use those credentials there. And I'm like, dude, that's just Active Directory. Every time you get credentials, you need to try them everywhere. If you find a password, you should spray it against all known users in the domain to see if any other users are using that same password. Like, this is just how Active Directory works. Like, that's not unrealistic. A lot of people who are taking the OSCP exam have never been on a real internal network penetration test before, which is fine. That's by design. OSCP is for beginners. But don't try and criticize OSCP for being unrealistic if it uses credentials like that. I assure you that is realistic. Finding credentials elsewhere on the network and finding that they apply to a different user or something later, totally realistic. There's got to be something in here, right? Yeah, here we go. Phishing attempt.xls. Oh boy. Get phishing attempt.xls. Okay. Let's check documents just to make sure. Oh. Well, let's look at that first. I've meant to check documents, but whatever. Okay. God, do I need to install LibreOffice? I'm not a happy camper. I'm probably going to purge it after this. Let's just install it all. Okay. There it goes. seen a lot of complaints about an impossible AD set that people came across on the exam. I've heard people, I don't know the specifics, but I'm telling you, if it involves credentials that you're supposed to, that you find somewhere and are supposed to use somewhere else, and that just wasn't intuitive to think of that, that's just Active Directory, dude. Every time you find credentials, you should try those credentials in every possible place you can. Everywhere. Everywhere you find a login prompt, you should be typing in those credentials. That's how it works. Are you in your own session of this box, or could that Excel file be someone else? It's saved on his desktop. I'm in my own session though, yeah. I hate LibreOffice because it's so bloated. It takes forever. Is Oreo taking OSCP right now? He is, yes. Oreo Bite is taking his OSCP exam as we speak. Yeah, it's bloated, but whatever. We'll survive. Oh my god, this is taking forever. Oh boy, I love restarting services. Let's just do this. Oh, come on. Oh, it logged me out. Chris Nova! My goodness, with the raid. Thank you so much, my friend. How was your stream? How was your stream? God damn it. Did it log me out? I'm just gonna reboot. Of course, it's taking forever to start back. This is why I hate LibreOffice. But I don't have Microsoft Office. God damn it. Let's just reboot the whole machine. Good to see you too, Chris Nova. Thank you so much again for the raid. Alexander29804, Ujiju, thank you for the follow. JSpin Dev and Tugni, thank you for the follows as well. Do any of you guys know blog sites that post write-ups of real-world penetration testing assessments? I mean, some of them do, but they'll obviously redact the company names and so on. Like, they don't do write-ups of every assessment. They're already writing reports, so they're only going to write a blog post for an assessment if it's particularly interesting. Usually, they'll write a blog post of an exploit that they did that was unusual or particularly interesting, and they want other people to know about it. They won't just do a write-up of the whole assessment. 90% of all assessments are not all that interesting at all, as far as they might be interesting to you guys who want to see what real assessments are like, but they don't have interesting vulnerabilities or whatever. You just responder to domain admin or something like that. I'm not familiar with DFire report, but that sounds good. Oh my god, really? We're still waiting for this to reboot. Just, come on, we don't have all day here. Okay. Sorry about this. I'm not a fan of LibreOffice because it's so bloated, and it forced me to restart my machine. Hi, Al. I hope you're doing better today. I am. I'm starting to adjust to the different sleep schedule situation. I found that it's better not to reverse my entire sleep schedule and instead just to stay up until 5 a.m. And then sleep until like noon. So just shift my sleep schedule a little bit. I found that that is fairly effective. Which is good because I have another week of this. I am not done with the assessment yet. Okay. Okay, so let's open up this. Let's go into Hack the Box. Watch LibreOffice not even work. Open this sucker up. Don't cuck me on this, LibreOffice. Okay. So we can see first name, last name, and then username. You're not going to give me the passwords? Rude. It says passwords, right? Captured pass. So this must be the... they're doing phishing simulations on their employees, which is good. Most companies will do this. Lots of companies do this these days, and it's really good. This says, the table says, there's this little lock, though. Oh. Sneaky. Oh, you cuck. This is new. Okay, so if you can't see, the cells here, the columns here go from A, B to D. So there's a third column here that is hidden, and this line is a little thicker than the other ones. Clever. And you can't expand it because it says protected cells cannot be modified. So we have to figure out how to bypass protected cells. So if you don't know, these Excel documents are just Excel files. That's what they're XML. They're basically zip files of XML. That's what this X is. This X here means it's XML. It's a bunch of XML files all zipped up. So let's see if we can. Excel bypass protected cells. Right-clicking the tab. We're not in Excel, though. Oh, it looks like there's a password we have to choose. Is there a... How to unprotect cells. I don't want to unprotect it in Excel. I was thinking maybe modifying the XML. Maybe we have to crack the password? No, it's not password protected. It's the document is not password protection or protected. Let's just do Cali. If it was Excel, there's a macro you can run. Let's just open up the XML and fuck around with it. Fuck it. Unzip. Phishing attempt. How do I unzip? Cali. So we need to, we're going to unzip it. File name not matched. Will it match now? It's kind of stupid, but... Okay, well, sometimes stupid shit works. Okay, so that did work. Is it in... doc props? Yeah, so... Okay, there's content type. I should have made a separate directory for this. Fuck. Let's just get rid of it. Let me do it again in a separate directory. Okay, Mukter, Excel, doc. Okay, so we have 3 folders and we have a content types. Let's do tree here. It's sheet 2 I think we care about, right? So my guess is... I don't see anything. I'm not super familiar with how these are laid out. Let's try looking at sheet2.xml, perhaps. We'll start there. Oh, it's not charts, it's worksheets. Sheet 2. See if we can see how it's protected. Okay. Well, I don't see any evidence of... It must be... The protection must be somewhere else. Hidden equals 1. I mean, it's not technically hidden. I don't know, I'm looking for, like... Do you think I could become a pen tester with only Hack the Box Academy and CTFs? You're going to probably want certs to get past HR. But yeah, those things will go a huge way towards giving you the required skills. Yeah, this looks like... It doesn't have any... What I'm looking for is the information here. There's no information in here. Oh, there is actually. Annabelle. So where is the other information? Like, I thought maybe we would just see the passwords in here, but we apparently do not. Maybe try this other one, the rels. I'm not super familiar with how these are laid out. I haven't encountered this particular defensive mechanism before. This is new to me. It has a SHA-512 string? Did I miss something? I don't see a SHA-512 string. I must be looking in the wrong place. There's no SHA-512 string here. I thought maybe we would just see the... Is it in, like, workbook.xml, maybe? Yeah, sheet 2 looked like what was in the first sheet. No, it didn't. This one had the names in it. That's what we'd expect. I wonder if Libre... Did LibreOffice fuck up this file or something? Because... Like, I'm not seeing any information here about this column. I see that. I see that there's a... But I don't see any information from the column. I thought we would see information. What's confusing to me is we don't see information from the column. I thought just because the column is small... Just because the column is small, I thought we could see, like, it's only small, like, visually. The information is still there. The information is still there. I thought if we unzipped it, we'd be able to just see the information. Oh. Sheet protection. Okay. So there's a why can we not... I wonder why we can't see... I thought we would just be able to see the information, like, here, and it's only hidden if you open it inside of a fucking thing. Like, because the information is still there. Is it encrypted or something? Like, where is the information? I see that this is the... I see that this is how they are... I see that this is how they're doing the sheet protection. That's not what I'm concerned about. What I'm concerned about is where the information is. Where are the passwords? Where is that information being held? Because it can't be held in this hash value. I get... Christy, my buddy. I get that. I'm curious. I am curious how... I am curious where the information is. Where are the passwords? I thought this was just a visual thing that we couldn't change inside of the application. I'm curious where the... Why can I not scroll down? Well, this is why we didn't see it before. I can't get... Like, Vim won't go... Okay, great. Vim won't do it. So... Do we have Kate? We do. I don't think I've installed Sublime Text on here. Okay, so we have this seat protection element here. What? Is the information encrypted? Thank you. I get that column C is small. I understand that. But the information still needs to be in the document. Where is it being stored? Where is the information stored? That's what I'm curious about. Where is the information being stored? I guess we can just remove this part. Let's just do that. Hopefully that works. Okay. Zip. How do we... we definitely want tac R for recurse. Zip file list and tac xi list. So it's just going to be unprotected.xlsx and just that. Did that work? I think so. Let's try. It worked at least to zip it back up. Okay, it's not corrupted. That's good news. And there we go. But where was all this information? Where was all of this where was all of this being stored? Where was all of, like, does anybody know? I'm just curious. It's not magic, look magic. Does anybody know where this all was being stored inside of Excel? No one understands. I agree, no one understands Excel. Okay. But where was this all being stored? I'm just genuinely curious. I thought that was pretty neat, actually. Yeah, it's right here. So all of they were in shared strings.xml. But here's all these passwords. Here's all those passwords. I'm wondering why they were in this completely different document. I mean, Excel is just really weird. I guess that's the answer we have to go with, that Excel is just very strange. They were not stored in the hash value. There was not enough. Turco, I am just curious how Excel works. Fuck you. Don't fuck you. I love you. I love you, Turco. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not mad at you. It was not encrypted. There was no encryption happening here. The hash was just preventing the cells from being modified. It does the information from the cells was, I expected to find the information from the cells inside of the document somewhere. And we did. We just found it in a completely different XML sheet. I'm not here for an Excel tutorial. Listen, Turco! You're gonna tell me you're not curious? That's what being a hacker is! You get a free stop molding. You get a free stop molding redemption for that, Turco. That's what being a hacker is. It's about being curious. Listen, fellas. Being a listen. Being a hacker is not getting domain admin or getting root on machines or getting flags. That's not what being a hacker is. Being a hacker is being curious about how things work. Okay? I'm curious how things work. Okay? We won't spend any more time on it. I was just curious how things work. Oh my god, this copy and paste is going to be miserable. Okay, let's try to do this in Kate so it'll be easier. Kate, Excel, passwords.txt. I need to install Sublime Text. Oh, that actually worked out really well. I expected that paste to be super ugly. But it actually wasn't. Well done, Kate. Cool. Okay. Okay, now I need a list of users. I need that full list of users we were talking about from BloodHound. I guess I'll have to use JQ again. So this week, I actually did this week. We'll go into BloodHound. So this JSON file contains the users. As you can see, it's really messy. JQ. So you can use JQ for this. I did this on my current assessment to get a. Once I had valid credentials, I was able to run BloodHound, and then I used the BloodHound users with JQ to extract all the usernames from the entire domain for password spraying purposes. So that's how I spray. When I got the default temp password, this is how I got a list of users to spray against it. To spray it against. So you can cat users.json into JQ. And you see it's all really pretty now. So now you have to do the thing. Is it data? You have to find the little nested JSON elements that you're operating in. I'm not in Tmux. I need to be in Tmux. I think the top one is data. Let me just open up Tmux. I don't know why I'm not in Tmux to begin with. Okay, so let's do cat 2022 users.json, pipe it into JQ, pipe that into less. So the first property is data. So we have to drill into here to find where the usernames are, and hopefully I can remember how I did it. So you see the data is gone, so we're only accessing the stuff in the data element. We need, from here, we need properties and then name. That's interesting. What's that, chat? What's that, chat? It's our old friend. A GMSA. It's a GMSA. So we need to do properties and then name, I think, if I remember right. I think it's actually data, and I think it's like this, if I remember. I just did this the other day. There we go. Yeah, so it needs to be... I know this is a little bit obtuse. The thing is that you just need to play with this a little bit. The thing is that this is an array. The data property is an array, so you need to specify it as an array, and then access the properties element and then the name element inside of properties. Does that make sense? At least some sense? Again, the only reason I got through that so quickly is because I just did it earlier this week. I did it earlier this week to spray for users on this internal assessment that I am on. I needed a list of users, and this is how I obtained it. Users. Let's do BloodHound users.list. Remove all of those. We can remove the @search.htb as well. Again, all of this is I'm very fortunate to have done this earlier on this week. So I didn't have to fumble around with JQ for a while. Okay. There we go. So we've now got users to spray. Crack map exec. SMB. What is it again? 10, 10, 11, 129. Let's verify that we can actually access that. Because we did have to reboot. Yeah, okay. CrackMap exec SMB. This is the nice thing about CrackMap exec. For all of its parameters, it accepts a file. So attack u, bloodhound users.list, and the passwords will be excel passwords.txt. All right, this might take a second. This might take a second. I need a new keyboard. Any recommendations? I use Corsair products for my peripherals. Well, that's not true. I got really pissed off at my Corsair mouse, so now I have a Logitech one. So maybe I'll switch to a Logitech brand. So normally on a real assessment, when I'm spraying like this, I'll do continue on success. You can do attack tac continue on success to because you're in a real environment on a real assessment. Chances are, if you're spraying for a password, you're gonna get more than one hit. If you get one hit, you'll probably get more than one. So and CrackMap exec will automatically stop when you have your first success. Oh my goodness, John Hammond is in chat. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Very good to see you, John Hammond. Thanks for joining us today. And White Cyberduck has indoctrinated you into the cult, so welcome. Welcome, welcome. Polymato, Zizaz Gaming, DCL Player, SSH 2001, Varun 4004, Nigel 499, BIP 39, Ascertainment, Dark Round Billy Boy, Austin Duong, Dia Venomia, Launo, and Yosoi Total. Thank you for the follows. Welcome to the passionate club of cephalopod enthusiasts, John. All right, so I'm expecting one of these passwords to work, right? It's going to take a while, but I'm expecting one of these passwords to work. I guess what we could have tried to have done is check the document itself, because the document itself had usernames. So we could try... Yeah. So that's what we should have done. That's definitely what we should have done. I regret my life choices. But this won't take too long. We'll give it a minute. We'll give it a minute. We have Stream Raiders to do anyways. Let's do Stream Raiders. The better way to do this would have been to first try the usernames on the Excel document. I'm just, again, still in that internal pen testing mode where I'm like, if I find a password, let's fucking spray it, dude. We're spraying it. We love spraying, don't we, folks? Password spraying is your friend, kids. When you find valid credentials, password spray. Oh, it did just pop. Sierra Fry popped. Yep. That was the username for that password in the document. So, yep. We were supposed to take the usernames from the document. Imagine that. I'm just so used to spraying at this point whenever I find passwords. Technique and technique. But it got to it allowed me to show off that JQ thing. Was that valuable to you guys? Showing off that little JQ trick you can use to get all the username lists from the BloodHound data? For all the usernames? Yeah, that was a useful little thing. We didn't technically have to do that, but that was useful anyways. Yeah, that's usually how I access my... That's the nice thing about BloodHound data. BloodHound's data is output in a nice little... in, like, JSON files. So the JSON files can be parsed by just any JSON parser. So JQ is a useful command line tool for that. So we do have Sierra Fry here. Let's open up BloodHound again. What? Yes, hi honey. Yes, I know. God, you are so loud today. Come on. Like she is just every so often she just comes into the room and just yells. My cat. If you don't know who it is, my cat. just comes into the room and just yells for no reason. Okay, so we have credentials.
A fine addition to my collection.
Okay, so we now want to see. I want to look at BloodHound and see what her permissions are. So let's do sudo neo4j console. Whenever you get credentials for a new user, it's just in my process to immediately look them up in BloodHound and see what permissions they have. I will say, except for that really dumb, initial access with the first set of credentials, the rest of this box has been very realistic and interesting, I would say. Let's see. It was Sierra Fry. We can mark this user as owned. We can open up her node. What do we have here? We're in what groups? Domain users and what? Birmingham IT Sec. Oh, we have an IT Sec person. Let's do always display. That just makes sure that these labels are always displayed. It bothers me when they're not. Object control. So there's that GMSA that we talked about. We saw this in the usernames. Remember when we JQ'd the usernames? And I pipe that into less. It's CD BloodHound. Cat BloodHound use cat 2000 users.json JQ. Pipe that into less. So you can see that this first username is labeled BIR ADFS GMSA. What's GMSA? What's a GMSA? So GMSA stands for Group Managed Service Account. This is a fairly recent addition that Windows has made to Active Directory. This is sort of their answer for Kerberoasting. A weakness for Kerberoasting, it's sort of like a lapse. It's sort of like lapse local administrator password solution, but for service accounts. So basically, if you set a service account as a GMSA, the password will be constantly rotated. It's randomly generated and constantly rotated, so it's never going to be able to be cracked. And it's a much more secure way of managing service accounts. And then you have users that can read the passwords. So in this case, it looks like Sierra Fry has the permissions to read GMSA password. And if you don't know what any of these permissions are, you can actually right-click on them. If I can... There we go. And hit help. Burr ADFS GMSA is a group managed service account. The IT Sec group can retrieve the password for the GMSA. Our special type of Active Directory object where the password for the object is managed by and automatically changed by domain controllers in a set interval. The intended use of a GMSA is to allow certain computer accounts to retrieve the password for the GMSA and then run local services as the GMSA. An attacker with a control of an authorized principal may abuse that privilege to impersonate the GMSA. So you have, there is a GMSA password reader. Yeah, so we can plan to use this, but we need to have a shell. One concern is I need to have a shell here. Sierra Fry, does Sierra Fry have WinRM? Do we have WinRM with Sierra Fry, I wonder? I think it's in 1. Let's do Sierra Fry. Again, Windows is not case sensitive, so that doesn't need to be capitalized, but whatever. The password obviously is. Let's make sure that that password works. It looks like this is some kind of a procedurally generated password. And it did not crack. Did I do the... Is the password displaying incorrectly, I wonder? Sierra Fry. It doesn't seem like we actually even connected. Are we getting VPN issues? Are we having VPN issues? No, I don't think so. Let's try just doing that. Is it going to give us access denied? It's not. I don't think it's connecting at all. It looks like I'm having VPN issues. Let's just restart the VPN. Because CrackMapExec is not connecting to the machine. Oh shit, is my fucking stream down? Nope. It looks like something's broken. This isn't NordVPN trying to connect, is it? What is happening here? My internet appears to be shitting the bed. Nope, it's not Nord. It looks like my internet is down. It still says I'm connected. Maybe it's just very slow. I can see and hear you. Can you guys hear? White Cyber Duck is in chat. Oh, now it's connecting. Can you guys see? Hello? Everything is working? Okay, I can see chat now. I'm so sorry. Okay, I don't know what was happening there. Chat, for whatever reason, was still... that was very strange. Like, I couldn't see chat. I lost connection to chat, but I was not... So I wasn't able to read until just now. Until White Cyber Duck said, I can see and hear you. That's the first thing I could see. I don't know what happened there. My stream wasn't dropping frames. It wasn't saying my stream was broken. That was a little weird. That was a little strange. I don't know what happened there, fellas. I apologize for that. Let's see if we can connect with CrackMapExec now. Again, I apologize. I don't know what that was. I've never had that happen before. I don't know what that... Computers are weird, dude. Computers are weird. I have 30 minutes to finish this box, so hopefully we can... If we can get that GMSA account, hopefully that'll get us domain admin from there. Did we even look at who the domain admins are? Who are the domain admins? Tristan Davies is domain admin. We have to get to the, we'll get to the GMSA first. Is there WinRM access? No WinRM. What we can do is look at Sierra Fry's desktop. Look at her user folder, I should say. That's been the theme of the day. Like, look at the user folders. See if there's anything in there. Oh, I'm doing it like CrackMapExec for some reason. fuck's sake. It wants... What is it called again? Fuck. Let's do tac shares. For the read GMSAs, there's a Python script, so you don't need a shell. Okay, well, that's nice. Python for... Can I do it from my Kali machine? Oh, GMSA dumper. I did not know about this. Oh, very nice. Oh, that's very useful. Okay, well, we'll take that. Thank you very much, chat. I appreciate it. I didn't know about that. I was going to try to connect and then either run that executable from BloodHound, or I'm sure that there was a way to do it with PowerShell as well. But that makes it much easier if there's just a... on red team assessments, I prefer to use Python scripts like this rather than executing... Like, why do you think I would prefer to use Python scripts like this other than the fact that it's just a little bit easier than getting a shell? Why do you guys think? Think about specifically on red team assessments why I would want that. Yeah, no signatures, less noisy. It's much quieter. It's just network traffic. I'm not actually executing code on a target. Splunk can't listen, at least not on the host. They would need some kind of network monitoring software to detect it. And that's going to be network. There's tons of shit going over the network at all times. They're trying to pick out a couple of requests inside of that. That's just unreasonable. So it's much quieter to operate. That's why I know, like, I'm so familiar with, like, tunneling and with using proxy chains and so on and so forth. Simply because that's usually how I operate on red team assessments. I will use in-packet scripts and crackmap exec and that kind of stuff, and I'll just pipe it through. I'll pipe it through a proxy. All right, so tac D is search.htb. Tac U, Sierra.fry. Tac P. Let me go back to my notes to get the password again, because it's this craziness. Can we specify a DC? TAC L for LDAP server. 10, 10, 11, 129, I think. Invalid credentials. Does it want the... Did I spell Sierra correctly? Yeah. So let's try search.htb/SierraFry, maybe? Invalid credentials. Those credentials are not invalid. Oh, maybe it needs me to do NTP date again. Is it authenticating with Kerberos? Yeah, we can try it with the double backslash. NTLM needs a domain, username, and a password. I am not familiar with this script. Oh, does it want... Maybe it doesn't want an IP address. Let's just do sudo vim. I've never used this tool, so I'm not familiar with what it expects. 10, 10, 11, 129. Search.htb. Search.htb. It was research. Research.search.htb. Okay, so maybe it wants... Windows is sometimes picky about wanting host names. Maybe it doesn't want that now. Invalid credentials. Yeah, I did host name. It still is not working, unfortunately. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, chat. Does anyone use this tool and knows what I'm doing wrong by any chance? Yeah, that's what I did, Turco. Does it want domain after the first two? I mean, let me make sure the password is correct. No tac L? It doesn't want it. Okay. Still does not work. Does anyone use this before and know what this script expects? Anything? No one? That is the correct password. Maybe a case sensitive. It can't be case sensitive. It's Windows. No tac L and username with domain user. Okay. Needs domain username and password. Maybe it's automatically escaping this. Invalid credentials. I don't know about this, guys. I've never used this tool before, and it does not appear to be working. It is Python 3, so we're not having a Python 2 debacle. Let me verify I've spelled Sierra Fry correctly. Yeah, I guess we could put username in quotes as well. Let me verify the password is correct yet again. This doesn't seem to work, fellas. I mean, I don't know. I've never used this before. Password ends in D8. The password ends in D8. Or 1-8. Why is it different in my notes? It must have been a messed up character. Oh, that must be what it is. I must have copied and pasted it into my notes incorrectly. Oh, good catch. Good catch. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think I copy pasted it out of that, I think I copied and pasted it out of the crackmap exec output. And I believe that one of the characters was messed up or something. Very odd. I don't know why that happened, but thank you. Good catch. That would be why it is not working. Okay. Okay, so it's taken much longer this time. There we go. Here we are. So this is not a hash. This is the actual password. GMSA passwords are very long. I think they're 32 characters long, and they are randomly generated. So this is what you expect of a GMSA. Excellent. Thank you. Cool. It's a cool tool. I'll keep that in mind for the future. I do run into GMSAs on an increasing frequency. All right, so let's see what this GMSA can do. What permissions do we have? We can mark user as owned. And at this point, we've got to be close, right? Do we just have DC sync? Tell me we can just DC sync. Nope. Only the domain controller and the domain admins can DC sync. Well, let's try shortest path to domain admins. Okay, here's that GMSA we talked about. Okay, so this person, whoever made this box, really tried to make a realistic-looking domain, so I applaud him on that. So we're a member of this. So this is one of the most useful functions in BloodHound. This is why you want to mark your users as owned. When you pick shortest path to domain admins, BloodHound will try and trace you a path through machines or permissions or whatever. Here we see that we have generic all over Tristan Davies. We have generic all Ackles over Tristan Davies, which means we can change his password. So Tristan Davies is a domain admin. I remember that. So we essentially can modify Tristan Davies' account at will. So there would be our pathway to domain admin. Generic all privileges. This knows full control. Has the trustee to manipulate the target object however they wish. You may need to authenticate to the domain controller if you're not running a process. So how can I do this most easily? It's very odd. We haven't had a shell yet at all. We have not had any code execution on the target yet. And this has... I'm wondering how I can exploit this. Can I use the Unpacket change user password script, I wonder? There's an Unpacket script that will change a password via SMB. Changing passwords remotely over SMB. It can perform the password change when the current password is expired and supports NTLM hashes as a new password value instead of a plain text value. And we can use an alt user. So let's try this. Let's try this Unpacket script. I've used this before as well. This is not the first time that I've run into this. I've run into generic all permissions or the need to change a user's password. That's pretty decently common, actually. So I know there is an SMB. There is an Unpacket script that will do this. Except it's not here. I think it's in Unpacket examples. Oh. See if we can... I need to find where the Unpacket's examples are being stored. You can use RPC Client to do that. Yeah, we can also use RPC Client. We did that the other day. Let's try RPC Client first, because we did that the other day. And I think that'll be a little bit quicker. Change user password RPC Client. Okay. All right. So we are the GMSA account. Does it end in $? It does not. There's a $sign at the end in the output here of the tool. Try to be a little bit more conscious of making sure usernames and passwords are correct. Password is this long string. Log on failure. Am I using the wrong password now? Let's try and connect with CrackMapExec. Actually, he might have WinRM access. The GMSA might have, 129. Attack U. It's the... I don't think it's an NTLM hash. I guess it could be? I don't think it's an NTLM hash. I don't know what the output of that tool is. Is the output of that tool an NTLM hash, chat? Or is it just a password? We could try it both ways. Logon failure. We can try it as a hash. That's also logon failure. So this credential is incorrect. Should you specify the domain? So what does this tool actually output? It does pass the hash, but what is it? CSH with some colors? Yeah, it looks nice. Should you specify the domain? This is a domain account. Now, I don't think with CrackMap exec you don't have to do that. I guess I can try. I don't know. I'm a little lost here. I don't know what this password is outputting. This looks like an NTLM hash, but I don't think it is. I don't think that... I think that... I mean, this is what it output. This is what it gave us. I don't... Like, what is all of this? Like, I don't... Is that the password? Or... I'm, like, really confused as far as... the output of this tool. It's not that. I don't know. I don't think that that's part of the password. I think that GMSA accounts are just randomly generated hexadecimal. I don't know why we can't authenticate here. Again, we're not doing we're just trying to authenticate. The problem we're having here is we can't authenticate. We RPC client or Impact it will work, I think, but as long as we can authenticate. We can't authenticate. I don't know why we can't authenticate, chat. Maybe it's changed since we got it. We can try that. I don't think it changes that often. No, that's the same password, I think, right? Yeah, that's the exact same password. So there's something in the redirected folder share. I'm just really curious why that's not okay. If you're directing me in that, I'm closing in on the time limit here, I'm afraid. Because Helen of Tor is supposed to start streaming in 12 minutes. So let's see if we can figure this out in that amount of time. So I'll take help from chat in order to... is it redirected folder? $? I know it ended in $. Sierra Fry. And then her password is this mess, which I have modified in my notes to reflect the actual password. God damn it. These fucking long-ass passwords are really irritating. Just because having to deal with them is annoying. Okay, so why is SMB client failing now? It's not maybe it's not redirect. Let's do tac shares. Trying to move fast. Redirected folders. Fuck. It's always something stupid like that, isn't it? There we go. Dir.
A hunter
CD,
must hunt.
Sierra, Fry.
Hello.
Okay, we do have user.text. Let's go into Melon42 with the 7 months. Welcome. Hello to you as well, my friend. Dir. Nope. Dir. Downloads. Dir. Backups. A certificate authority. We already have the P2. We need the PFX. Staff.pfx. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay, I get it. All right, so I know how to do this because I do it with burp 50 fucking times. Every time I set up burp again, I have to do this. So we're going to import the certificate authority. Privacy and security. Certificates. Import. As you can see, it's auto-completing to... This is burp's certificate authority. We're going to import this other certificate authority. It's in HacktheBox search. I might have to unpack it first. My back hurts. It looks like I can't import it in this format. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. It's data, so it's encrypted. Let's do that. See if we have a way of cracking this. You can tell it's encrypted because it says data. And I think that PFX files are like bundles of files that are encrypted, so that would make sense. PFX to John, TAC H. So it wants the file. Staff.pfx. There's the hash. Staff.hash. John. See if that cracks. Oh, someone mentioned that. I remember someone mentioned at the beginning that. Ooh, I hope it cracks in time. Will it crack? Hey, chat, will it crack with Rock U? Will it crack with Rock U? Yeah, we didn't crack the pet. I used this script to crack, but maybe there's something better. For most file types that can be cracked, there's going to exist a tool that can turn into John format. That's why I went looking for it. It will. John just failed me. Oh boy. I'm trying to go through this as quickly as possible, chat. Yeah, just give me the password. If you have the password from a write-up, if I've cracked it correctly here, just give me the password from the write-up so we don't have to wait. I'm trying to what the fuck? That's the password? Miss Pissy? Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get this done so that we can so that I'm pretty sure you can import a PFX file. Hack the box, search. That did not do anything. You need the P12. Okay, so I need to unpack it. How do I unpack the PFX? There's always a long ass. Okay, how do I get the P12? You need the P12. What? Oh, the P12 from her share, huh? So that's the private key. The PFX is the private key. Sorry, guys, I'm going fast. So this is... We're getting a little bit of help from chat because I want to finish the box. We're so close to the end. Okay, get, search, research, ca.p12. Okay, exit. All right, so now we import that. Privacy. Import. It is not prompting for a password, chat. I don't think it worked. Maybe. Oh, it's just a certificate. I'm importing an authority. I'm an idiot. Yeah, no, I'm just a moron, chat. Sorry. What was the password? Miss Pissy? There we go. So now there is... (10, 10, 11, 129). We're back here. And then there was an images directory. And then there was a staff directory. See, now we're talking. Now we're cooking with some amount of gas. Oh, PowerShell web. Okay, now it makes sense. Sierra, Fry. Password is this craziness. Helen is impatiently. I know. I'm going as fast as I can here, okay? I know she's probably going to be super pissed at me. I don't think we need the computer name. We sign in. God damn it. Maybe it's localhost? Localhost. Okay, thank God. Okay, we're here. Good work, team. I have to click submit every time? Oh my God, that's going to be so annoying. Okay, this sucks ass. This shell sucks ass, but we could get a proper reverse shell, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay. So at this point, we need to get the password. We need to get the GMSA password. We need to change we need to use it to change Tristan's password. And then we need to access the file system as Tristan. These are the things that we need to do. So, okay. Okay, PowerShell, let's get the password first. That's the first thing we need. Get GMSA password PowerShell. Perfect. We could use that executable, but if there's a PowerShell way to do it, it'll be quicker. Get AD service account. Like this. Oh my god, this is going to be so annoying. Okay, attack identity is the name of the account. Which is this. Attack property, was it? Properties? Properties. I need this as well. MSDS managed password. That's what I expect because it looks like Laps. Laps has a similar configuration. Okay. So we do have the So where is the oh, so this is the password right here. She just said, well, Allison's... she's going to be super pissed. I just want to finish this fucking box. Hopefully it won't... It shouldn't take too long. So it's getting... I thought this would get just this property. Let's do... $GMSA equals this. I want to get just the password out of this blob. And pardon me, I don't know PowerShell well enough, so we're just going to kind of feel our way through this. $GMSA is now that object. We can access the property MSDS managed password. That did not work. How do I access that property, chat? Are you streaming on Tuesday? Yes, I'll be streaming on Tuesday. I don't know what time I'm going to stream. It'll probably be a noon stream again. It'll probably be another noon stream on Tuesday, because that'll be easier on my sleep schedule. Okay, GMSA. Can you put this in quotes? Like, do I really have to put this in fucking quotes? Can I even do that? Oh, thank God I can. Okay. So we're feeling our way through this, chat. We're getting it slowly. So we have the... So how do we manage this password now? Decode. Oh, this is exactly what they do. Okay, I just need to follow the instructions, as it turns out. Okay, it's right here. So right here we have... Okay, so let's get the password. We're figuring it out, chat. We're getting there, okay? So GMSA pass, camel case it, equals this. Okay. And now it wants... Convert from AD managed password blob, $GMSA pass. Oh, good. There's tab autocomplete. Okay, so this is why, must be why it didn't work before. This is kind of what I was expecting to see. I don't know what this password is. I don't know what this is, but this is typically the kind of password. This is typically the kind of password you're going to be expecting for a GMSA account or a lapse password. They're ridiculously long, randomly generated passwords. So we have, this is a secure string. And now how do we use it? This is too random. I mean, that's just how GMSAs and laps work. Okay, so we have, this is already a secure string. So now we just need to, we need to create a new PS credential, which I have in my cheat sheet. Let me look at my cheat sheet really quickly. Because I always forget how to do this. You have to do this fairly often, and I always forget how. This is what I need right here. So we have to create a PS credential. Dollar. The user is going to be the GMSA account name. What was the GMSA account name? I'm just going to scroll up and get it. Can I not scroll up? Fuck. It's got to be in here then. Just need the GMSA account name. There it is. BIR80. I could have looked in BloodHound. I should have looked in BloodHound. Just trying to move fast. Trying to move fast. Dollar. Oh, I didn't actually. Fuck. I didn't actually save the. So dollar. Secure cred equals convert from 80 paddage password blob. Just do cred object because it looks like it's an object with a bunch of properties again. And then dollar cred object dot current password. Oh no, it's secure current password. Secure current password. Okay, so I just need the cred object secure current password. Let's paste this back in. Like that. Okay, so we have dollar credential. Okay, great. So now we can invoke command. I always get this wrong, so I'm just going to copy it straight out of my notes because I always get this wrong. Okay. So we need to execute we need to change Tristan's password, right? So it's going to be net user Tristan Davies. I'm sorry about this, Tristan, but if it's any consolation, the sun will be up in a few hours. If anyone got that reference, make sure to point it out in chat because that was an obscure reference that I just dropped on you just there. Tristan.davies. And then the password will be... And then we have to change his domain password. Command completed successfully. Good. So now we should be able to create a new PowerShell session as this user. Can I do enter PS session? I haven't lost my chat, have I? You guys still there? You guys still with me? I'm hoping my chat didn't go out again. You guys still there? Stream appears to still be up. Okay, everyone's here. Okay, enter PS session. You know, we'll just do PowerShell run as. That's what my notes are telling me how to do. Okay, so... Such a pain in the ass to do a PowerShell run as. There might be an easier way to do this, but we're going to do it this way. Because this is the way I'm familiar with. Convert to secure string. The string is going to be Cthulhu fhtagn 123. Okay. Oh, I don't even need to do this. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. I can just crack map exec. What the fuck am I not crack map execing for?
A hunter must hunt.
19 freaking months WOOT WOOT.
And there it is. So we can crack map exec. We can do... I think we can just do NTDS from here. And there we go. There we go. So, getting the... I'm not going to get the root flag. Getting the root flag is very trivial from here. We have all the passwords of the whole domain. We simply just... That's all we needed. We have all the hashes we need right here. Does anybody have any questions about this box? Susfaris, thank you so much for the 19 months. Wow, that's incredible. Melan with the 7 months, thank you so much. Drake, Star Dragon, J Novo, Ace Attack, Commodore J, Sirius Teleport, and Jogi 988. Okay, great. So Helen of Tor is streaming right now. I don't want to take up any more of her time. I'm 17 minutes late, and I'm sure I'm going to catch shit about it later. So let me drop her a raid. Thank you guys so much for being here. Honest thoughts about the AD elements, very realistic. This was a very realistic. The only part I didn't like was the only part of the box I didn't like was that first part with the first set of credentials. That was dumb. The rest of it was very realistic and the kind of thing that you would typically see. How do Excel files work? We still don't know. Okay, I don't think anyone actually knows. Ace Attack, Sol Invictus, and Kairat. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, the password on the main page was the only part of the box I didn't like. It was quite a good box otherwise. One of the best boxes I've done in a while. Very interesting. We learned about we hit on a lot of Active Directory. I got to even show off that little JQ trick, which is nice. I'm the only one I know who does it that way. But that is a convenient way to get a list of all the usernames if you're on an internal penetration test. I am rating Helen of Tor. Helen of Tor is going to be doing an interesting blue team platform. She's going to LARP a SOC analyst for you. So if you want to know more about the blue team piece of cybersecurity, that's who you're going to want to look. You're going to want to look at her. So that's what we're here. That's what we're here for. And again, keep in mind, even if you're purely interested in the attack side, or mostly interested in the attack side and the defense side are joined at the hip, fellas. You need to know a little bit. The more you know about the defense, the better you're going to be at attacking. And if you're a defender, the better you know about attacking. The more you know about attacking, the better you're going to be at defending. The IPSEC, the god himself, is a blue teamer and does red teaming just so he can understand the attack piece. Gabriel Seiko, thank you. Gabriel Seiko, thank you for the follow. Go to bed tonight knowing a little more than you did yesterday. Follow me into Helen of Tor's chat and give her some support. Have a good night, day, or whatever time it is wherever you are. Get vaccinated. Stay safe.